Uh, I know y'all may come on this channel and y'all may see, well, boy, that guy he sure do talk about Charleston White a lot. Uh, well, I do. I admit it. I admit I do. But you know, the reason why I do that is because I watched Charleston White. You know, what I mean, I watched him on the video. I've watched him document the things that he does. A lot of a few of my friends and family may wonder, well, you know, the things he says and some of his actions. You're a smart guy, Flay. Why would you put your support behind somebody like that? Well, for one thing, you know, and he speaks about this as well. It's like you got to be able to recognize your kind of people, the kind of people that have some of the thought processes and the beliefs, and you know, in some ways share some of the experiences that you share. But that's not necessarily what I'm coming on here to talk about today. Now, Mr. Charleston, he was supposed to do an event in Texas with a lady who's known as Miss Pat. And the reason they call her Miss Pat, PAP, because she has an organization called Parents Against Predators, or it's People Against Predators, or I apologize, Miss Pat, for not knowing the acronym, but it's against predators, against child predators. So Miss Pat had planned an event, and she wanted Mr. Charleston to come speak at the event because Mr. Charleston has experience with working with children, the children which he fondly calls the nigger babies. Okay, so now, aside from his real life actions and the things that he does in real life, he has a character in which he has utilized his character to make himself widely known, and also has enriched his pockets with it. Now, in the process of being this character, he has offended and saddened and emotionally triggered a few of the people that you might think are some of the toughest, you know, I guess by the terms and definition, masculine people uh, in the culture. So okay, now currently, I know everybody knows James Prince. James Prince, the owner and founder of Rap A Lot. As a young lad myself, I used to love the Ghetto Boys, and you know, the artists. I bought all the. I bought the first Ghetto Boys album. I bought the first Willie D album. I even bought the Rapper Choice. I don't know if anybody remembers the female Rapper Choice, but you know, I like Rap A Lot. Now throughout the years, Mr. James Prince has been known as a pivotal figure throughout Texas, and you know he's made an impact nationwide, and someone who was known as, I guess you could say, intimidating. What's happened now is that Charles and White has shown that he is willing, and he said it himself, he's willing to die, kill, or go to jail for what he believes in. Now, what he believes in is making sure that the children are protected, that the children are equipped in order to become and grow to be strong men and women. So he accepted Miss Pap's invitation to go speak to a group of people in representation of those victims, those children who have encountered or been abused or damaged by those people who identify as predators. So it's pretty much clear. I don't know whether I think the event was either supposed to be this weekend or something like that. So now Mr. Charleston came on and let us know that Miss Pap called him and said they don't want you to come. They're trying to keep you from not coming or whatever. So reasonable deduction would think that okay, Mr. Charles has been saying a lot of things that some people may be clutching their pearls. Those supporters of Jay Prince may be clutching their pearls. Jay Prince and his family, and it's reasonable to believe that as a citizen, a long-term citizen of Houston, and a business owner in Houston. He owns a lot of property and all that types of things in Houston. That Mr. Prince would have a lot of influence throughout the city of Houston. And I guess there's nothing wrong with that. You know, you work hard and you attain your position. The problem is that when you utilize your position and your power, your influence in a means in which is counterproductive to those who could easily be considered the weakest and the least of these in our population, which I say it's the children. Now, someone who considered himself a gentleman, a gangsterly gentleman or a gentlemanly gangster, you know, they would be able to set aside those things that might be considered personal beefs or personal issues, and be able to look and see, well, even though he may have said this and that and the third about me and my family, but this cause and this purpose is much larger than any type of internal beef that, interpersonal beef that he and I might have. So what I should do is, okay, there'll be time and there'll be other instances and other opportunities to perhaps have a discussion or have an encounter with Mr. Charleston White. But this right here is more important than that. So I want to know how, I mean, like I said, Mr. Prince is wealthy. He has a lot of influence in Houston, I'm sure, due to the fact that he is a business owner and he likely donates to, he may even donate to the police union or whatever. But how is it that he's able to you know, you can call, from what I understand from what Mr. Charles said on his Instagram Live, that man is able to contact the police department, the Houston Police Department, the mayor's office in Houston, and get pushback against Charleston White attending this event, reasonably and logically, deductively, due to the influence of James Prince. Now, like I say, you can look at Charleston White and saying the wild stuff and say, oh, he's homophobic, oh, he talk about doing such and such to white women, raping white women, and he say he's the killed a white man, stood over him. He say he had called the police. All that bullshit aside, words is one thing, but in my mind and from my perception and from my experience, words kind of pale in comparison when you have constructive actions that back up whatever words you say or whoever you may claim to be. Now, I don't know whether anybody will hear what I have to say here. But being someone who's never stepped foot in Houston, who's never, I mean, I think I've been in Texas one time, but really it was just, I was in Ardmore, Oklahoma, and I think it was like a Sunday or something like that, and the people I was visiting, they wanted to get some liquor or something, so we went over the board and got the liquor, whatever. But I've never been to Houston. But I've supported Houston by way of the listening to the music or whatever. However, other ways someone who doesn't live in a necessary state, a city, can support them. Support someone. This right here, if this is allowed to occur, you know, just in the name, it's an event to support children, to support abused children. If Mr. Prince, not only if Mr. Prince, not only if the city of Houston's police department and the mayor's office is willing to block someone who has a record, who has a history of doing things not only for the community, but really has a strong focus on the children. You know, all without any old 501c program, just off the cuff of his desire and his conviction to do these things for these children. But if this person's being able, if Mr. Prince is able to block this person, Mr. Charleston White, from doing something that's righteous for not only uh 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 not only the children of Houston, but by example, people who know about Charleston White's notoriety and watch what Charleston do could indirectly do some things for the entire nation of people, of the nigger people. I think that's disappointing, and I think that's absolutely sad. That's pitiful. And it says a lot about, well, Charles get on there and say, well, I hate these rappers, and these rappers rap about killing people. But if those are the things that are protected versus a child being abused, damaged, likely for life, then man, I can't. Man, and luckily I don't have CDs and nothing like that. Man, I can't rock with that shit, man. I can't rock with a mob ties. I think I'm gonna delete finesse 2 times out of my playlist. Scarface and the Ghetto Boy, and man, that's something else that's funny too. I mean, I'm not gonna get too much off the subject, but I watched the other day when Willie D and Scarface had went back and forth because Scarface went to the Grammy. I don't know whether it's a jealous vein that's going on down there or not. But you got to learn how to put, have guidance above whatever emotional impulses or emotional feelings you may have, and guidance above your emotions. You got to have guidance above my emotions. And listen to the game, because the game, when you apply the game, it ultimately means elevation. Allow Mr. Charles to do what he does, aside from the character as the community advocate, the juvenile litigation specialist, well, mediator for the juvenile legal mediator. When he goes and he talks to the judges and stuff like that in order to try to help those children who might have been damaged by predators or just had a bad life coming up and have done something wrong, in order to help them somehow have a second chance at life. I don't know whether, like I said, I don't know whether these words don't do anything, but I felt I had the need to say something. Because a lot of people look at, well, I got to be sweet from Charles White's nut. No, and even if that's how you feel, then feel how you want to feel. But I'd rather stand with Charleston White than stand with the bullshit. I lived through the bullshit. I lived through the 80s and the 90s and the double O's and whatever, and I've seen where we have deconstructed. We have pretty much bought ourselves down, lowered ourselves in standards as a people, and that's not going to lead us anywhere but to our own continued destruction. He said, the man said, we're going back to slavery. In my mind, when I first heard him say that, I was like, man, you got to be kidding. We ain't going back. So people going to fight to go back, to keep going back to slavery. But then you watch things like the elections and things like who you vote in. If you don't vote for this president, you ain't black. How they're able to censor. Like, for example, let's say, I may say something. I may make a post on Facebook, and this is actually true. I made a post on Facebook and say that there were people that could be considered black that actually lived in America before Columbus. We all wasn't transplanted from Africa, even though we may have African descent, because when you think about it, all this country, due to continental drift and all that type of stuff, this was at one time pretty much one big landmass. You can't use DNA to trace migration. DNA will show you where a particular where your lineage may come from in regards to biologically, but it can't trace your travel. So if my truth is, you got it now where things that were once held as truth are able to be denied just for the sake of the fact that people want to go along and get along with it. But I don't want to go on too long, because like I said, I'm starting to sweat because I guess I'm getting a little nervous. But I also have to get ready to go to my white man's job and do what I need to do in order to make sure I maintain my way of living. But Houston, do we have a problem with the nigger nation? The Texas, y'all got the Texas nigga nation. We got the entire nigga nation. The fact, do you have a problem with the founder, the general, the ambassador general of the nigga nation? Somebody let me know. Houston people, y'all really should be down there. If y'all hear that anybody within this who saw that video on Instagram from underneath Rat Williams' Instagram account, if y'all saw that video and y'all see what and y'all know that this is happening and this happened and this is going on for real, and y'all don't say nothing and I don't see nobody standing up. I'm all the way up in Cook County, Illinois, Chicago, okay, and I'm all the way in Illinois saying something about this. And if y'all right down the street and can't say nothing about this, and it's y'all kids that he trying to reach, then y'all need to be a motherfucker ashamed of y'all self. So with that being said, peace to the nigga nation and nothing. Mr. Charleston, like I say, man, as long as you keep rocking the way you rock, I'm gonna keep on fucking rocking with you. Peace and love. Shout out to Anthony Dewberry. He inspired me to do this motherfucking video.